My wife's aunt was getting too much on her nerves, which even made our marriage fall apart. When my wife's aunt lost her husband 2 years ago, she came to live with us because she was scared to be alone. We had extra rooms and she seemed fine, so we thought it was the right thing to do. At first, everything was easy. She helped around the house, chatted with us in the evenings, and seemed grateful. But slowly, she started getting oddly attached to my wife. She didn't want her to go to work because she'd miss her too much. If my wife went grocery shopping or to visit friends, the aunt would complain about being left alone. She even started following her to social gatherings she wasn't invited to, just to stay close. I told my wife it wasn't healthy, that her aunt needed to reconnect with her own friends and find things to do. My wife said I was being unfair, and that her aunt just needed comfort after losing her husband. I let it go. But 6 months ago, everything changed. The aunt got bronchitis, then a viral infection, and then started complaining about her back. She said she couldn't walk properly, couldn't bend, couldn't even lift a cup. From that day, she became fully dependent on my wife. She cried if my wife wasn't in the same room, refused to eat unless my wife fed her, and wanted her to sleep beside her every night. My wife couldn't leave for work without being guilt-tripped. If she tried, the aunt would start shaking or pretending to have chest pain. Within weeks, our house stopped feeling like ours. It became all about her. I told my wife I was worried, not only for us, but for her health too. But she kept saying her aunt would recover soon. 2 months later, nothing had changed. We took her to doctors, who said she was completely healthy. Multiple specialists said there was no medical reason for her behavior, and that she could live another 10 or 15 years easily. That hit me hard. A psychologist told us it wasn't physical. She was emotionally dependent and using guilt to keep my wife close. He told us our marriage would collapse if we didn't draw a line. That scared me. That was it for me, so I decided to do something good for us. I'm retired now, and I've always dreamed of taking my wife on a long cruise, just the two of us. I secretly planned everything. An Alaskan cruise, the perfect getaway. I asked our daughter to stay with the aunt while we were gone. When I finally told my wife, she was thrilled. She hugged me, said she couldn't wait, and looked happier than I'd seen her in months. But when she told her aunt, everything exploded. The aunt started wailing, saying we were abandoning her, calling all her friends to tell them how cruel we were. She threw herself on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. It was shocking to watch. I told my wife enough was enough, that we needed to put her in professional care. My wife refused, saying, she's family. You don't abandon family. Then she canceled the trip and said, you understand, right? But I didn't. I went on the trip with our daughter instead. It was beautiful, but it felt wrong. When I got home, things were the same. The aunt still ruled the house. She criticized my cooking, my routines, even my TV choices. Now that we're selling our house, she's dictating what kind of place we can move into. No stairs, certain lighting, certain view, and my wife actually listens. I retired to finally enjoy life with my wife, not to compete with her aunt for her time. We've been married almost 45 years. She's the love of my life, and I don't want to give her ultimatums, but I miss my partner. Counseling hasn't helped much. Then, something unexpected happened. We found a house we both loved. Perfect location, beautiful kitchen, near our grandkids. My wife was excited and showed her aunt the pictures. The aunt immediately said, you can't buy that. It has stairs. I can't go up and down stairs. My wife stared at her for a moment and said calmly, it's the house my husband and I want. You're healthy enough to handle stairs, and that's not going to stop us. The aunt froze, then started crying, but my wife didn't give in this time. She followed our new therapist's advice. Check on her often, but don't reward her emotional outbursts. That night, the aunt cried for hours, but by morning she was fine, and something shifted after that. My wife finally saw how much control her aunt had taken. Since then, she's been stronger. When the aunt complains now, my wife stays kind but firm. She no longer cancels plans or lets guilt run her life. She started working part-time again, meeting friends for coffee, and we even go on walks together in the evenings. It's like getting her back, piece by piece. The therapist helped her understand that this came from deep guilt. Her mother had raised her to care for every older family member, even at her own expense. My wife thought love meant sacrifice. Now she's learning that love can also mean balance. We still live with the aunt for now, but things feel lighter. For the first time in years, our home feels like ours again. We laugh more, plan weekends, and she even talks about rescheduling that cruise. It's not perfect, but it finally feels like hope. I am happy now.